Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Muttama Shloke Bhaktira Bhavati Nashtake. Randraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 3rd canto, 26th chapter, titled as The Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. Kapila Dev is explaining to his mother Devhuti about Sankhya Yoga. The spirit soul is an eternal living entity, and the spirit soul gets this body, the material body. And this material body acts under the three modes of material nature, Sattva Guna, Rajaguna and Tamaguna. So actually all the activities are carried out by the gunas, whether the one is under the control of Sattva Guna or one is under the control of Rajaguna or Tamaguna. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. But Kapil Dev is saying that living entity, even though is neutral to all these gunas, under the influence of gunas, the living entity thinks that one is the doer. And that is called as the material consciousness. Material living entity thinks that he or she is that particular body. Actually, the soul is not body. Soul is separate from the body. But under the influence of these three modes of nature, the soul identifies itself with the body, and that is called as bondage. And that bondage or that consciousness, which is material consciousness, is the real problem. Identifying oneself with this body. And that is what Kapila Devi is saying to Mata Devhuti. He is saying, Tadasya samsmriti bandha paratantrayam cha tatakritam Bhavati akartur ishashya sakshino nivrutatmana. Tada asya samsmriti bandha. Bandha means bondage. So, living entity, the soul, thinks that one is the body. And that leads to the bondage. Bandha paratantrayam cha tatkritam. And then it becomes dependent. Paratantrayam cha tatkritam. Bhavati akrutaha ishaya. So here Kapila Dev is saying to Mata Devhuti, material consciousness is the cause of one's conditional life, in which conditions are enforced upon the living entity by material nature. So one starts thinking that, oh, I am this body, and then all the body-related problems are enforced upon that Atma. Although the Atma, the spirit soul, has nothing to do with this body. This body is just like a covering. Atma has nothing to do. But somehow or other, the Atma gets trapped with this body. Although the spirit soul does not do anything, our soul is inert and is transcendental to such activities, the soul gets affected by this conditional life. And then soul is dragged into this material consciousness. So if we identify ourselves with this body, actually we are more and more dragging our existence into this material world. That is called as material consciousness. So we have to purify this material consciousness to spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness, which means that We have to understand that I am not this body. This body somehow or other is given to me by Supreme Authority, by Krishna. But I want to get rid of this material body and I want to acquire the spiritual body. So, this material consciousness, which is the state of awareness that we are identifying ourselves with the material body and we are associating with ourselves with these material activities, to understand that I am not this body, I am beyond this, I am part and parcel of Krishna. That is our supreme relationship. Otherwise, if we identify ourselves with the body, then we'll forget our real identity. That I am the spirit soul, I am the eternal Satchitananda Vigraha, Nadiradir Govinda. I'm part and parcel of Krishna. Now, when we identify ourselves with the body, then we get attached to the things like relationships. Now, relationships cause suffering. You're attached to the temporary planes and pleasures. So then, temporary pleasures will lead to constant endeavor for the temporary pleasures. People have this attachment for the sense gratification because they think that this body is real, which is not. And this material consciousness, identification with the body, will lead to bondage and suffering. What is that bondage? I am this body, the family is mine, everything is mine. So then it will lead to repeated birth and death. Birth, disease, old age, death is the cause, is the result of this material identification. So we have to understand that I am beyond this body. I'm transcendental to this body. I'm not the body. This body is just a covering given to me for time being so that I can re-establish my relationship with Krishna. The purpose of the body is that we re-established our lost relationship with Krishna. If we forget our relationship with Krishna, then we will be bound again to material birth, disease, old age, and death. That's why we use this body so that we connect with Krishna, Krishna consciousness. So, in this verse, it is mentioned the root cause of our repeated birth and death, which is to identify oneself with the body. We have a free will, but we are misusing our free will. Our free will allows us either to serve Krishna or stay away from Krishna. So we have to use our free will so that we serve Krishna. So somehow or other, we have to overcome this material consciousness. So here, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, this verse 3.26.7, Kapila Dev is explaining that this material consciousness, thinking that I am this sharira, this body is real, and associating oneself with the body is the root cause. So we have to surrender to Lord Krishna. Mama Maya Durataya. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it is very difficult to overcome this Maya. Maya Shakti is the Shakti which traps you into this material consciousness. So constantly remembering Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, helps us to understand that I am not this body. I am the part and parcel of Krishna. And this material life is here, given to me, so that I can connect with Krishna. I can attach myself with Krishna. I can serve Krishna more and more. Otherwise, we will get trapped into this material consciousness again and again. So that is the meaning of this verse. Rudraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.